Welcome back, folks. You're with us here on Cab Rugby TV. We're watching the start of the league. It's finally up and running. Super Leagues A's, B's, C's, Northern, Southern, City, Paarl region, all up and going. Renzo Botman joins us in the studio now. Nice to have you back, Renzo.
Thanks for having me, Jobs. Yeah, like you said, start of the season. It's all goes now for everyone. So yeah, happy to be on the rugby field.
What do you think? Any surprises? I mean, we'll go through the results just now, but without giving any specifics, do you think there were some surprises?
Always surprises when it comes to club rugby. I think my biggest surprise was Caldervie Helderberg.
Yeah, why do you say that?
Obviously, Helderberg, always a good side. I think they dominated in the friendlies. I think Caldervie one or two losses, so I thought maybe, Helderberg maybe had a slight advantage there.
Yeah.
But I think, Caldervie stuck it out in that last 10 minutes of the game, so well done to them.
All right, Jerome, we're going to give you a couple of chances to take a look at whether or not we've got surprises, but we'll take a look at that in a second or so. Hamilton's was playing against St. George's, Jerome. We're going to take a look at that highlight now. Without you looking at and I know you've seen the game, but what would you have thought before looking at the game? Like last week, if I asked you what to expect for Hamilton St. George's, what would have gone through your mind, knowing that Hamilton's had just lost against Villagers?
Yeah, look, we said we know going to Castro is not going to be easy. Last week, I think we said that on the show. So we expect at least St. George's to give Hamilton's a run for their money.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a look and see if they did. Folks, this is the first half, Hamilton's and St. George's. All right, there we go. Looks like Hamilton's camping a little bit there on St. George's try line, but the halftime score then, Hamilton's leading 34 points to 10 against St. George's. Jerome, your thoughts there? Halftime, 34-10, that's a pretty big margin.
Yeah, it is, and you can see the trend of the game. If you dominate the set pieces, if you dominate the lineouts, and you dominate the scrums, then your game is half won. Nothing has changed in rugby, and you could see how the game is going to go.
Yeah.
That's why Hamilton's was leading, because up front they were a little bit too strong. And I actually surprised, because I thought that St. George's would done much better. Koos Ekstein is there with the forwards now coaching, so I thought with these experience maybe they'll change a bit.
Early days though, early days. Renzo Botman, I'm not going to be asking you about the game. We'll leave that up to Jerome. But nice to see the St. George's fans coming out there. A lot of fans on the day.
Yeah, look, I said to the guys on Thursday that they can expect about 10,000 people on the field.
No, we can't talk to you about Hamilton's Rugby Club. So speak to me about the fans around the field at St. George's.
Look, Japes, it's when you go to Gastro, it doesn't matter if it rains, it doesn't matter if the wind is,
Yeah.
if there's a hurricane coming, tornado coming. There's always going to be fans at Gastro, and it's always nice to see that, you know, when you get to the field, people are waiting already at the gates for you.
Yeah.
And the way they, you know, act when they when their team comes on the field, not even on the field, when they get into the at the gate, it's like just the passion they have for the players.
But it's going to go the other way around as well, because St. George is also a good travelling side.
Yep, always
Yeah.
comes with about 2 to 3 buses. So yeah, it's always nice.
Okay, let's take a look at the second half. Then we'll see what the final result is. St. George's and Hamilton. All right, there we go. Final result going in favour of Hamilton's, 58 points to 15. All right, Rens, give me the feeling then, not necessarily from a game point of view, but Hammies will be happy to get the first game out the way. Bit of a rough start during the friendlies, but Hamilton's will be, from a league point of view across the board, will be one of the teams that's happy.
Yeah, I think every team that won the first league game,
Yeah.
it sets the trend for what's coming next. So you know, going into the break of 3 weeks now, I think it's now going to be a good race. But also going back, obviously there's still a lot of work to be done. But going back to the drawing board, and I think it's SK Warmers. So then building to the second game now.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that then. All right, so there's a few games that are going to have a little bit of a break. Jerome, your closing thoughts on the Hamilton St. George's game?
Yeah, look, I think Hamilton's played the game well. They had a lot of patience on the ball by slowing the ball at times and just try to keep and holding onto the ball phases. Then the gaps will open up. That's where they score the tries. And if you play against St. George's, you know, if it's a turnover, they'll convert it into points. I think Hamilton's did their homework.
All right. Well, it looks like then we're in for an interesting season of club rugby. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're still going to be taking a look at Brackenfell and Durban, and we'll take a look at the rest of your results and fixtures coming up. Back in a sec.